In the towering stone palace of Hungary, life moved with a shimmering rhythm, the flutter of banners, the clatter of armored guards, and the laughter of nobles echoing around ornate halls. Amidst this grandeur, Elizabeth came into the world, her arrival sealed by royal customs and the expectations of a princess. Even as a child, her eyes held a distant sadness, a gaze that lingered on something beyond wealth and celebration. Sent to Thuringia, Elizabeth grew away from her home, learning etiquette and diplomacy in preparation for the marriage that would unite Hungary and Thuringia. The grandeur of court life often alienated her. As others rejoiced in jewels and dancing, she watched quietly, pondering the meaning of her privilege. Her marriage to Ludwig IV was unlike what the court expected. Political unions often meant cold arrangements, but Ludwig loved Elizabeth's purity, and Elizabeth loved his gentleness. Together, they envisioned rulership not as dominion, but as stewardship. In secret, Elizabeth traversed muddy streets in common garb, bringing bread and comfort to the poor, nursing the sick herself. To her, the crown was not for display, but for lifting burdens. Rumors spread, the nobles whispered disparagingly. Why should a princess dirty her hands? Was she not squandering royal resources by caring for those with nothing? The council grew uneasy with her loyalty to the destitute, insisting that dignity was measured by distance from commoners. Yet Elizabeth found dignity in compassion. Each act of generosity was her silent protest against indifference. When Ludwig departed for a crusade, Elizabeth gave him a farewell filled with hope and sorrow. She waited with patient faith, but the news that returned was devastating. Ludwig, her champion, had fallen before reaching the battlefield. In an instant, she was a widow, stripped of her protector. Now vulnerable to the malice of court rivals, Elizabeth faced suspicion and resentment. They accused her of draining the treasury for her charity, and soon, she was expelled from the palace. On that bitter night, she left her home behind, carrying only her children and a steadfast spirit. Seeking shelter, Elizabeth found only a cold stable for herself and her infant. While the wind howled outside, she found solace in her liberation from riches. She no longer bore gold's burden, nor the weight of royal expectation. With what little remained, Elizabeth established a modest hospital. There, she relinquished her title and embraced humility. She became a servant in the truest sense, washing wounds, cleaning beds, feeding the sick. Her kindness blossomed, uninhibited by protocols. Though her time was short, only 24 years, her life glowed with an intensity that outlived her physical presence. The humble and suffering carried her memory forward, celebrating her as a human miracle long before the church recognized her sanctity. History remembered Elizabeth not for her noble birth, but for her noble actions. Her legacy endured, reminding generations that true royalty is found in mercy, and the greatest throne is built in compassion, not gold.